Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Scale Community, where we talk about everything it takes to get your business to the next level: customer relations, employee management, leadership, self-direction, business direction, and otherwise. So today we are going to be answering a question that was sent in by someone from the community. I cannot play the entire question to you because the audio is not really clear. However, the name of today's session is How Do You See Your Business? How do you see your business? So now I'm going to give you an overview of what the question this person asked is. This person wants to get a loan. They want to get a loan because they are in a competitive marketplace and they see that their competitors have a lot more goods than them, and they made certain statements. They said they are in a competitive space. They said it is when you have goods that you can sell. And then he also said something: I really need a place where I can get a loan so that I can help my struggling business. So do you know any places where they give loans to struggling businesses? Now, of course, I'm going to tell him or her, I think him rather, where to get loans. I'm going to answer that in private. However, I'm going to be answering the much bigger question, which is, can a business survive when the businessman or businesswoman sees the business that they are carrying out as small? Can a business survive when the businessman or woman sees the business that they are engaging in as struggling to survive? Can a business survive when the businessman or business owner simply sees the business that they are engaging in as less than what every other person is doing? I hope the person is here today listening. I have to tell the person that that business, no matter the size of loan that they get, will simply not survive. It will not grow, it will not improve, because the mindset is fundamentally wrong. The mindset is fundamentally wrong. Now, we do mentorship in the community. However, it is paid for. But when it comes to recalibrating the mind of a person, improving the thinking cycles of a person, it takes a lot of knowledge, it takes a lot of teaching. Because in order to be successful at anything, you need knowledge. I'm going to repeat that because it is very, very important. In order to be successful at anything, you need knowledge. Your passion is not important. Passion is not what results in success. Your love, your desire, they help, but they are not ultimately what results in success. They may help you not give up, but they are not what results in success. In order to be successful in anything, you need to be knowledgeable about that thing. In order to be successful in business, it's not about loans. It's not even about having money. It's not about having people who are willing to guarantee you. It's not. In order to be successful in any business, any kind of business, you need to be more knowledgeable than other people in the marketplace. And when a businessman makes a statement like, it is when you have goods that you can sell, it shows that this businessman is not knowledgeable about carrying out business. Because, let's give an example. Uber, Bolt, Taxify, Lyft. These are car companies that do not own cars. They don't own the cars that they use. They don't have the goods that they use. In fact, they had an idea to connect people who had problems to their solutions. And remember, that is what money really is. Money is just a way of exchanging value amongst human beings. So when a businessman is saying that, it is when you have goods that you can sell, that you can do business, the businessman is operating at a lower level of existence in terms of business. They are operating at a lower level of thinking. And remember, in order to be successful at anything, not just business, you have to be knowledgeable. Now, you could have knowledge and not practice it. That's a whole different case. But the fact remains that you have to be knowledgeable about what you are doing. You simply have to know your stuff. You have to be competent. So today I'm going to be asking every single one of us here, how do you see your business? How do you see your business? How do you see your business? That's a question that every single one of us has to take seriously. This young businessman said, my business is struggling, everything is hard. And I am not denying the fact that the economic climate of Nigeria is quite harsh at the moment. I am not denying that fact at all. However, that cannot be the deciding factor of what makes your business function. I make that statement and I make it boldly that regardless of the size of the loan that this person is able to secure, they will never be able to succeed at that business, at least without changing the way they see their business. So now we've established it. If you want to grow, if you want to improve the state of your business, you must change the way you fundamentally see your business. You must change how you see your business. You must stop seeing your business as a business that is struggling. You must stop seeing your business as a business that is trying to survive. And you must change exactly how you see it. You must see your business as an already successful, thriving, problem-solving, customer-satisfying, and money-making business. So instead of seeing your business as a struggling business, instead of seeing your business as a business that is trying to survive, trying to cope with the climate of the economic weather in Nigeria, you must see your business as a business that is already successful. You must see your business as a business that is growing and thriving. You must see your business as a problem-solving business. You must see your business as a customer-satisfying business. And most of all, you must see your business as a money-making business. It is important that you see your business as a money-making business. It's important because that is what business is. It's not an NGO. Because the moment you do every other thing without making money, you are an NGO. And it is possible to do every other thing without making money. There are ways you will carry your business that it will just be a glorified NGO and you will not know it. There are businesses that have 10 million pass through the business in a year. There are businesses that have 100 million pass through the business in a year. But at the end of the year, when they check their balance sheet, they discover that it is zero naira that remains in the account because money was passing through. There was volume, there was sales, but at the end of the day, there is no retention, there is no actual profit because the money that is passing through is doing just that, it is passing through. And the sad part is that many business owners, they don't even know until it is too late. That's why if you notice, from 2020 to 2026, you will see that there are many businesses that came up and they've gone down. Popular brands that you were seeing before that you are no longer seeing. Why? Because they were glorified NGOs. Now, is it bad to run an NGO? No. If an NGO is what you want to do, then do it. But the issue is that many people deceive themselves saying that they are doing business when in fact they are actually running NGOs without knowing. And the painful part is that when you are running an NGO and you don't know that you are running an NGO, it will collapse. Because at least when you know that you are running an NGO, you actually carry yourself with the understanding that you are not making a profit. Meanwhile, the other person thinks they are making a profit, but they are not. The things that we are discussing today, they are rather specific. So now, how do you get your business, or rather, how do you get your business in your mind to that point where you see it as something that is successful, thriving, problem-solving, customer-satisfying, money-making? You need a lot of pictures. You need to have a clear picture of where you are going. And I'll be very sincere with you. One way that you get those pictures is by studying a lot of biographies. You need to read, what have businesses in the past done? How have they grown? How have they scaled? Where have they started from? Where have they ended up? That is really how you get a picture of where you are going. That is how you come to understand that, okay, this is how I would love my business to be. If you want to start a food brand, right, or a conglomerate of businesses, you need to look at Unilever, P&G. You need to find out, what are these businesses functioning like? Remember, in order to be successful at anything, you must have a high level of knowledge in that thing you are trying to succeed in. High level of knowledge in that thing you are trying to succeed in. If you want to reach out to a lot of customers, you must have a high level of knowledge in how to reach out to customers. You must really have a high level of knowledge. For example, and I'm not trying to brag, just today I was studying on what it takes to get a business to $100 million in revenue. That's still what I was doing today. I need knowledge, because the knowledge that got me to where I currently am in my business will not take me to where I want to go. So I need new knowledge. If I want to organize something for a group of people, I need knowledge in terms of organizing things for groups of people. You cannot scale without knowledge. Knowledge is not the only thing it takes to scale, but it is a very, very big parameter in terms of scaling. It is a very big parameter in terms of scaling. If you are going to scale any business, anything, you must have the knowledge required to do so. So, number one, where do you get the knowledge? I already mentioned that you must look at the past. You must study history. You must study biographies of great men, great businessmen, great entrepreneurs. You must see what those who have come before you have done. And to make it easier for yourself, don't just read biographies and business books that are easily available, because sometimes the easily available ones may not speak to you contextually. They may not speak to your context. What do I mean by context? I mean that the ones that are easily available, they may not speak to your situation as a Nigerian. That's why you need to look for, even as you are looking for those biographies, you need to look for somebody that looks like you. Because sometimes what we are looking for in our heart is this thing possible? That's why somebody like me, I love reading about John D. Rockefeller. Why? Because John D. Rockefeller, he started from a place of humble beginnings. In fact, let me be raw. He started from poverty. He started from abject poverty. And I'll be very sincere with you. I am not there anymore, but that's where I started. That's where I was born into. So sometimes you need to give yourself that hope that my business can succeed. And remember where we started from. One of you in the community. And please, I am encouraging all of us. Please send in your questions. Send in your questions to the community managers. Send them in. We want to hear from you. We love hearing from you guys. So one of the questions said that, how do I get a loan to help my struggling business? That's where we started from. So you really need to give yourself those pictures that my business is already successful. It is already thriving. It is a problem-solving business. It is a customer-satisfying business. And most importantly, because we are businessmen and women, it is a money-making business. And one way you do this is by getting pictures, studying biographies of those who have come before you. So you look for a biography of somebody that looks like you, that their situation is like yours. For example, I love Mr. Otedola, and I enjoy the works of his book, Making It Big. However, our contexts are not the same. I've read the book, or I'm reading the book, and I'm learning from it. But there are some things I will read there that my mind might say, it's because his father was rich. I will start making excuses. Now, that is something that happens. Is this possible for somebody like me? Could I just do this, and that? I'm being sincere with you now, because you need to get yourself to that place of knowing that this thing is possible for me. My business can be number one in Nigeria. My business can be number one in the world. Because when you listen to people who are actually doing big stuff, they sound crazy. They don't sound like they are reasonable. They sound unreasonable. They sound very, very unreasonable. They sound very, very unreasonable. And you need to get yourself to that place as well, where you can look at your business and say, even if we don't have enough money, the place we are going to is this, and we are going to get there. Because once you start thinking like that, you start to see yourself differently. you start to get ideas that can work. Because when your mind is already closed, it affects the quality of the ideas that can come to that mind. For example, this person asking the question, and please send in more questions. We want questions from you. Send them to the community managers. They will eventually get to me. They will be studied and they will be answered. Your questions are utilized in making the episodes of the How to Grow Your Business series. The person said, when you have goods that you can sell, that is when you do business. But the truth is that that is not the only way to do business. There are many ways to do business. In other words, this person cannot get an idea of how to do business in a different way because they've already concluded. So now we've gotten a better way to see our business. We're already exposing ourselves to those biographies, exposing ourselves to those stories, right? The next thing you want is that you actually need to get yourself involved with mentorship. You do. You need to get yourself involved with mentorship. You need mentors. You need people that have gone ahead of you. For example, in the question that this individual asked, he said, so my CAC has expired and I cannot get loan because I registered my CAC in 2012. If he had a mentor, he would know that your CAC cannot expire. It is for life. Once you do it once, it cannot expire. Now, it can become inactive, but you don't even need money in order to make it active again. You don't need money. You just need to submit all the things you've not been submitting, which is your yearly annual report. If he had a mentor, he would know that your annual reports, they are required as of June 30th every year. So you need mentorship. And finally, because we're almost out of time, you need a community of people, like-minded people going in the same direction. Going in the same direction, which is big business, big global enterprise. And that is what we are building here in the Scale community. So wherever you are listening to this, you can easily go to the description. You can go to the About section. You would see the link to the community. You can join the community, be part of us, grow your business, gain wisdom, join our mastermind, join our retreat. We have a retreat coming up in December. We prepare for 2027 as a community. Know how to strategically position ourselves for Q1 2027, Q2 2027. So today, I'm leaving us with a question. What one thing can I do to solidify the image of my business as already successful? What one thing can I do today to solidify the image of my business as already successful? So, and with that, I say thank you all for joining us today.